things I'm interested are, with everything you've been through and all these things, what are some habits you have in place or that you develop that help you really own this resilience that you have? Because you have this great resilient attitude, but surely it developed over time. And now you have some things you do every day that maybe might help another mom out.
Well, my morning starts at 3:30, sometimes 4.
Wow.
There's sometimes 3:30. My husband and I get up and we talk about everything and nothing. When I say people, they look at me crazy, but I say we talk about everything and nothing. And then I will do I'll do my affirmations. Where I write my affirmations each day. Do my Bible reading, and then there are 2 things that I listen to religiously. They are non-negotiable on YouTube, which is The Death Crawl. It's a movie, and Arise Champion. Those are 2 things that I listen to every morning, non-negotiable. And I would do my affirmations I put on the wall, and I write them out. I have an app on my phone that's called Focus. It tells about exercise, meditation, that kind of stuff. Those are my non-negotiables every morning. Then I do my exercise, whether I go to the gym or I stay home and exercise off YouTube or I go walking. I have to do my exercise first thing in the morning. Now that I'm an empty nester, it's a little bit easier. When I was a mom, I go early, do my stuff like you, Tiffany, and then I am present for whatever comes for the day. And what I read. Do you get to bed?
It's Tiffany Lorraine Galloway, certified high performance coach with another episode of the Resilient Mother podcast. And with me today is my partner in crime, Catherine Tyson Sewell, and our guest, Charmaine, who's an entrepreneur and mother. And we're in the month where we're kind of going to be talking about resilient presence, and how we really show up in our life as a mom and how we show up for ourselves so that we can be that mom. So Charmaine, please tell us a little bit more about you and where you're from and what brought you to us today.
Okay, I am from the Cayman Islands, and I am with the Cayman Islands government for 35 years now. I started out my journey in my workforce as a police officer for 28 years. And then I transitioned into core government as in enforcement for trade and business. All that time raising 2 children. And it has been a journey. And what brought me here? I was speaking with Catherine, and she brought us up, and I'm like, yes, of course. If I can inspire one person that's going through, one mother that's going through, it's all game over for me, all good for me.
I love
that's why I'm here.
That's what it's all about. We just want to touch lives, and even if we just reach one person, it's definitely worth it. I love that. That resonates so much with me. Well, I'm interested at the challenges of being a police officer. That's not something I would be brave enough to do, let alone do that and raise kids. What were some of the challenges and resilience you had to build around that?
Well, I went in at 17, so I wasn't an adult yet when I started my journey in the field. And I went through a lot of challenges. And my son was my firstborn. So raising a boy as a police officer, it was very, very challenging. Being a police officer in a female in a male-dominant area was extremely challenging for me. I felt like persons would just throw me in the deep end to see if I would swim or drown. But I had some really strong and very, very strong upbringing. I was raised by a single mother as well, to a point. She started the prison service. She did 43 years in the prison service. So our house was always under strict management, to say the least. But then when I joined the police service, it was a very, very hard experience for me, because what I went in expecting was not what I got.
Sorry, if I could interject here, I do just want to like to bring Tiffany into our reality of being in the Cayman Islands versus being in the United States, being a police officer. So I was a police officer in 1986. Charmaine, what was the year that you joined?
I joined 1990, January.
Okay, so 4 years later. So just think about being in the islands. A lot of people aren't aware of this, but we are very much, the little women. We still fight right now to be recognized as, equal contributors, right? It's very endearing. It's endearing chauvinism. It's endearing, but in America, you would understand that it's not endearing. And so just imagine what Charmaine's talking about is being 17. So not only being a girl in the Cayman Islands, but being 17 in this big man world, right? And needing to prove yourself. And then also being a mother to a child. So her upbringing very much prepared her to kind of kick butt, but she still had a lot of challenges doing that. So I did want to just put that into perspective because, it's not as simple as you think. 1990 versus 2025 is a very different situation. And we still fight as women to be considered at the table and real players. So just imagine now we're talking about 1990. So I just wanted to just kind of put that in there because I remember challenges I had in 86 and it was a nightmare. It was like, come here, little lady, after you, little lady. And you're a police officer with a uniform on and you got the men kind of like, no, you go first, with your pretty little self. It's like, what?
Exactly. And I'm not a very tall person. I'm about 5'5". Yes. I'm not a very tall person. And it was really, really, I developed hard skin. And I'm one that I would tell you my opinion now. Yeah. So it molded me that I had to develop a hard skin, tell you my opinion, stand my ground, because you had at those times, it's not like now where you have like anti-bullying and sexual harassment policies in place. Right. There was none. There was none. It's either you conform to your superior who's a male or you're going to be fighting.
Yes.
And I chose to fight because it took me, I would say, almost 15 years to be promoted. And it took some in my mouth because I'm not going to be settling for less than what I believe I need to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you remember a particular situation where you finally decided, hey, I got to be assertive here, and you figured out a tactful way to do it? I think that's an resilience.
Yeah, when I was pregnant, because I was working on the outstation, Catherine, I was working in West Bay. And what I faced when I was pregnant, I actually had a fight in the station with a prisoner. And I had the males just fold their hands and look at me. And I had a big tummy. I was heavily pregnant, maybe about 6 or 7 months pregnant. But because I was what they call, quote unquote, stubborn and talkative, because I talk to myself, my punishment was to work on shift. So while other pregnant ladies would work 9 to 5, I was working on shift. Yeah. And I decided that's the job I love. I'm not going to make anyone bully me out of the job. So I'll work shift.
Yeah.
Wow.
And having that fight with that drunken lady, and everyone just kind of stand up and just look to see the outcome. I'm like, you know what? Doesn't matter what. I'm going to prove to you I can make it, baby or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because even when I had my son at 6 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks old, he was 6 weeks. He was a baby that took breast only. I was back at work doing shift.
Wow.
I was back at work, heavy breasts, and having to rush to go home, feed the baby, get back to work in that space of time. I had no extra privileges. I had no extra time to do any of that.
Has any of that changed?
It's a little more tapered out now. They have longer maternity time now. And like, I know in our main government building, you have like a lactation room that mothers can express their milk and stuff like that. And now the police ladies, they actually have that 9 to 5 once they're pregnant. But my 2 pregnancies, I work shift. My break time was in my car with a pillow. And I'll get my hour or my 2 hours, because when I was pregnant with my daughter, it was a 12-hour shift. You get 2 hours. And I'll take my pillow, set my alarm clock, go in my car, lie down and rest. When my alarm go off, back up, space and stuff, and back.
Back to work. Wow. I'm very inspired by your determination to make it work.
Yeah,
and to be an example, especially in that field. I mean, that's such an example to your kids of being resilient and showing what's possible and not letting someone limit you on what you can do. It's interesting to me too. I was never working while I was pregnant. I think I was very blessed to, well, that's true. I was a dental assistant for a period of time, but they actually moved me to the front desk because I didn't want to be around the nitrous, which can cause a lot of birth defects and issues. And I was lucky. And then I had leave, but I just never returned. And I know not every mother has that blessing, but I also think there's a lot of room for improvement in a lot of countries for what we have for maternal rights when we're pregnant and when we have maternity leave. I'm shocked to learn that in some countries, mothers have a whole year before they have to go back because those countries, they value the mother being with the child when they're young. And science is proving over and over again, it's not great for children not to have mom those first formative years. Right. And so I hope we can move more in that direction because it's the next generation we're affecting. And as much as we fight for equal rights, then we can do what men do, but there are things we can do men can never do. Men can never carry a baby, and they can never really replace mom in the ways.
They can't breastfeed her either from their.
Right, they can't breastfeed, for example. Yeah. So I think
they're not making milk because they're going to come for us and say they can breastfeed because they have these little apparatus things that they're putting on their chest, but you can't make milk. So,
yeah. Well.
No.
Yeah, they can try to mimic it, but that skin to skin touch with mom will even tell the mom's body what nutrients to put in the milk. I'm sorry, you can't synthesize some of those key things for development. And so I hope in time we'll move in that direction and value it, not seen as this mom's being less by doing that or asking to be with her child or no, that's that individual child that we're raising. It's our next generation. Why do we want them to be deprived of what's essential for them to have the maximum development into who they are? And that should be universal across the world instead of one country values child education and more than the other. We're talking about law enforcement. So Charmaine would have seen on the other side, children that were not nurtured and parented, effectively, maybe for other reasons, but also reasons like the mother could not be there for them. The mother had to go to work. I'm a social worker on the other side of that, where we definitely know what you just said, Tiffany. It is so important for children to have their parents actually, but definitely to be nurtured to, that they're not rushed through those stages because that's what's forming their personality, their trust in the world, how they react to the world, how they feel about the world, their empathy, all of these things that are so necessary to be a decent human being to contribute in this world. So it is really important. And Charmaine, thank you so much for coming on to the Resilient Mother podcast, because it's stories like this that really we want the world to continue to hear. Because I think women we're so accustomed to just carrying everything. Like our bags are strapped on our shoulders. We don't even take them off. Like we literally, I call it, when we were moms, we have a 9 to 5 and a 5 to 9 shift. And then after that, so we never get off. Right. But you don't hear enough about us. You don't hear enough about these amazing stories. You don't see us. And I want us to be on every street corner. Like I literally want moms' pictures to be up in Times Square, just how they put the Victoria's Secret models, because they are the heroes in this world. And I'm not discounting dads. I'm just talking about moms. So I think that it's really important. And I only say that because sometimes you can say things and people get offended. Oh, what about dads? We're not discounting dads. We're just talking about moms right now. And I think that it's just been a demographic of people that continue to work and produce. And then the fallout, we get it. If they turn out good, we get it. If they turn out bad, but there's not enough stories. There's not enough noise being made. So we really appreciate stories like yours to come on to inspire people, because what you just said was very, very inspirational. It means that if a woman wants to be a police officer,
go for it. Just look at, the things that you're going to have to do. You might have to make some adjustments, but you can do it because you here have a celebrated career of basically how many years again did you say? What is it?
28.
38 years.
Yeah, I did like 28 in police, and then I did my rest of years now. January was 35 years in all for government.
Yeah.
But what it has taught me and what it has taught my children, because if we are honest with ourselves, our children does not do what we say, they do what we see us do.
What they do. What we do.
And it has taught them to work hard, study hard. So I never stopped studying. I never stopped working hard.
Yes.
And it came over so forcefully because my son was an electrician from school. He's 32. Last year, he wanted to go in HR. So he called and said, I want to go into HR. I said, fine, you can do anything you want to do. You know the rules? Because I do have rules with them. You can do anything you want to do, but you have to work hard. Nothing is given to you. Nothing is handed to you. You have to work for what you want. Right. And he was able to secure, in May, himself after fighting and getting no's and doors closing. So the doors eventually opened. He was able to secure himself a full job in HR. My daughter, she went away to school for 4 years. She did her bachelor's and master's in music. She passed 15 subjects. Can you imagine me getting a bill from education to pay for 15 subjects? And I'm like, oh my God. But I was one who told her she can do anything she wanted to do.
That's right.
She went, got her stuff, and she's actually teaching in one of our high schools. She's the smallest teacher, but the strictest teacher.
Awesome.
I have classmates come up to me to say, oh, Sham is teaching my son or Sham is teaching my daughter. They love her so much, but she's very strict. And I'm like, yes, because I have a boundary. My thing with my children are, if you're doing exams, you have one chance. I don't have money to do makeup. One chance. Right. Once I'm paying for it. So you have to work hard to get it done.
But it's funny because I used to tell my children, and I want you to finish that, but I used to tell them when they'd complain, you got 3 kids? Because I did all my stuff with 3 kids. I'm like, you got 3 kids? Okay, don't tell me anything. Keep moving. You have 3 kids to take care of? Okay, I don't want to hear it. So I'm hearing you go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I was just saying that, yes, I went through. I built myself. I built resilience that I know I can stand. I can stand to anything. Because one thing, my mom was not the easiest person to live with. She was a prison officer. So it's like close the cells and
she ran a
all
prison.
That kind of stuff. Yes. At 17, I was working full-time shift. But when I was on my days off, I was a child in the house. You can't go out. You can't do this.
Wow. She was tough.
Like 6 weeks before my 18th birthday, I packed all my things because I'm saying on my 18th birthday, I'm leaving. I need freedom. But she was strict. She was tough. Parenting doesn't come with instructions. But one thing she always said to the 5 of us, she has 5. One thing she always said to us is that you can do anything you want to do. And that's what I impart my children. You can do anything you want to do with the help of God. You can do anything. I know when my son was going through, and January this year, I said to him, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Call it into being. Say it. Speak it. All of the successfulness. There was one point I messaged him, I'm like, you get on your knees and you pray and you ask God to forgive you for all the wrong things you did that you know about, all the wrong things you did you didn't know about. Because
amen.
Once you have your children, you have to encourage them.
Yes.
Because what they tell us, when they reach 18 and your children start, no. I have a 32 and a 25. Anything happen, they're calling because for some reason I'm the magician.
That's right. And we are magicians too. We're magicians also.
All our many hats. Yeah.
But
that's great that you have that relationship. You built it. You built it on a foundation of boundaries, respect, and they may have not liked the rules sometimes, but in the end, they know why. They know because you cared, you loved them, and you wanted them to
trust you. Yeah.
And they saw you doing it. Like you were going through the struggle. You decided I can do this. And like you said, our actions speak way louder than our words.
Absolutely.
I think
I would say to you, it wasn't an easy road. because I had a boy and a girl. After my second pregnancy, I'm like, no, I'm done. I wasn't brave like Catherine to go a third.
Well, I had two boys. So I was like, I mean, it wasn't a plan anyway, but I'm glad I got my girl, you know, and then there's the other part of the story, you know, so, but yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid when I had the girl. I was afraid because I was saying, I don't know how to manage a girl. Because I grew up with boys. I was the eldest, but I grew up with boys. Okay. I was afraid when I had my daughter because I didn't know if I could manage, if I could be that mother for my daughter. My son and I think it was just in the last 3 years that we actually did not butt heads. We butt heads.
Funny. That's funny. That's funny.
Think about we went through.
I found with my daughter, I found like I had myself. Literally had myself, the same person, like on steroids. Like she's toe to toe with me. Like, you know, it's amazing, you know, and I always say as a single mother, I think we have the beauty of being able to lock out the rest of the world, and we have this little team, and this is our team. And if we do it right, and you know, we pray every day to get it right, because some days are going to be a hot mess, and when I lay down in bed, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I hope I could do that differently, and I shouldn't have done that, and just question yourself, and you get up every day and you're ready to fight. Come on, Lord, we're doing this again. And when you can have these people that are your friends, that people that respect you, that love you, that care about you, like the tables turn a little bit where they're looking out for you, like how are you doing, and they're checking on you. That's amazing. That to me is that's the goal, right? So as mothers, and I try to encourage mothers, I think Tiffany, you and I, we do this all the time, right? To encourage mothers that it's so worth it and to put the work in, because on the other side of it, you know, what you get out is really kind of, you know, what you put in. So I love hearing about your adult children in this relationship that they have with you and how much trust they have in you. And that's beautiful because you get to have a full life because of it.
It does. And as much as my son like butt heads, I remember there was one time he said to me, you know, one thing with you always stand your ground. It doesn't matter what, you always stand your ground. But yes, I have to stand for something. And about a month ago, my daughter said to me, I don't know how you always had it together. And I'm like, I did not always have it together.
Make it look that way.
Because she's still at home with us, but she's facing, you know, her little bills and different little things that's happening with cars. And she's always keep it together when I was going to school. I never wanted anything, and I always got what I wanted. But I always had a rule. If you need something, I need 10 days notice. 10 working days notice before I can say yes or no.
You were running a prison too.
I like that rule. That's a good one. I get caught up like, we need to go get snacks. What? Like,
give me 10 days.
Anything you need, give me 10 working days. Let me get it figured out that you can have it.
Yeah, she's such a government worker.
I am. I tell them I'm institutionalized. I can't help it because it is such now that even if I have like a dog, if I have $10, I'm weighing, should I spend it for this?
Right. And now you can spend it. Now you can spend it, right? But you're still kind of like, you know. So Tiffany, you get to the point where you can spend it. We're just letting you know you can one day, but you still can.
Because
talking to the girl going back for a master's here soon. So
Ooh. Yeah. And my daughter was in England, so she was like 12 hours plus for me.
Wow.
It was challenging, and then she got COVID by herself. It was like
your baby.
It was, and I keep saying it.
So we got the police officer side, but then you decided to dive into like what I think is the most challenging thing. I don't think people understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur. What was with that? What was that shift? I got to hear this.
My husband sees so much in me that I did not see myself because I was just like work, going.
Oh, that's nice.
And when I would do things for persons.
And hold on, so that's a husband after the single parenting journey, right? Want to make sure because that's hope also for our ladies that are listening.
Of
There's
course.
hope on the other side, yes.
But he was my friend before he became my husband.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, and in all my relationships, he's the only person that, and it's frightening, ladies. I think it's frightening. after you've been a single parent for a long time and you're making your own decisions, and then you have somebody that comes in your life that really, really means good for you, but you have to get to that point where you have to remind yourself, I don't make decisions by myself anymore.
Right.
I'm still learning. After
Yeah.
10 years, I'm still learning. And he's the one that he sees it in me that before I see it in myself. So I'm there encouraging my children, you can do this, but I don't see it in myself. And he said to me, why don't you do this? Well, because I do have 2 businesses. It's like, why don't you do this? This is good for you. And if I go to him and I say, I want to try this, he's like, go ahead. And he never puts me down. He never says, no, you can't do it. So my entrepreneurs is network marketing now. And I do have immigration services, but I'm really concentrating on my network marketing because it's a travel business and I can travel into the world. And like I say, at this stage, I tell people I am living my teenage life now.
Yes.
Because I have somebody that's spoiling me now. So I'm living my teenage life now, as opposed to I'm doing it in reverse.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Minus the aches and pains and the hot flashes.
Yeah. Oh, you
But it's all good.
I mean all of that, Catherine. I mean all of that. Hot flashes,
I know.
pains, everything.
I know. But it's still, we're still blessed, right? Because we get to talk about this journey. We get to tell people that you can get through it. And every day, although it seems tough, you still get up and you put up the dukes and you fight it out, and it's going to be okay. And I'm so happy for you. I'm happy for the new phase of your life where you phased out of the police officer route. You're still doing some stuff, but you're now also bringing in some things for yourself. So you're able to have more time to work on things for yourself because you don't have the babies they're still crawling, they're still babies, but they're not really babies, So,
but I have a beautiful grandson. My son gave me
my
grandson. He's going to be 8 this year. He's the love of my life. And I'll tell you, when you get grandbabies, you have a different love for grandbabies.
You get to spoil them.
You have a different love for grandbabies. It's like,
now, you just called your daughter. Did you just call your daughter Charm? Did you name your daughter after you?
No, Sham.
What is
it's Chambria and Charmaine.
Okay. I was gonna be like, I was down for it. So I was like, yes, Junior, we need to be like well, that's cool.
But yes, that's Chambria and Charmaine.
But you're Charm and she's Sham. So you're Charm and she's okay, interesting. All right. That's good.
Yes,
okay.
But it's a journey. It wasn't an easy road, but it was a fulfilling road. And like I say, if one person can just take one nugget from this, say, I can do it too, because you can. You can. The universities are coming up, and remember, whoever your higher power is, mine is God, whoever your higher power is, you tell him what you want, and he's going to give it to you. I have a thing. When your doors are closed, stay in the hall and dance your way through because they're going to open up.
Oh, I love that.
I love that too. That is so necessary because it's that hope, right? It's that hope that makes the difference, makes all the difference in the world. From thinking it's not going to work out to just knowing it's going to work out. I don't know how, but it's going to work out. Like that's literally how I live my life also. Like, I don't know how. A lot of times sometimes I get so overwhelmed that I stop thinking about it. I'm like, Lord, I'm not even going to do your work for you. I'm not going to think about it because I know it's going to work out. One way or the other, it's going to work out. And I think that to me, that hope is just that bright light. And what you just said was a word, man. Just tell him what you want, and it's coming through.
Yeah, don't micromanage God. Don't micromanage him. I have a thing that says, good morning, this is God. I'm going to take all your problems today. I don't need your help.
Yes. And he might show you, he may deliver it in a different way. It may come in it may not come the way you thought it was going to come. And, and sometimes it can come in, no, not that, but here's this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not yet. Wait, hold on.
Yeah. I love it.
I would say if you're going through, you have the college stuff and all that, it's going to come. But guess what? How do you eat an elephant? a bite at a time. If you
A
try to eat all
bite
the
at a
elephant, you're going
One
to
bite
choke.
at a time. That's incredible.
There's another book I read that says, eat your frog first. The frog is the thing that you hate to do. Do that first, get it to the way, and just
Yeah.
move on.
I have that book. Eat the frog first. And I'm still trying to figure out if we could have used another term, because I don't know if I want to eat the frog, but you're
Exactly.
right.
That is why, because most of them hate frogs.
Can we eat the chocolate first? Sorry.
Nope.
You gotta eat the chocolate last. Tiffany, you gotta eat the chocolate last. You gotta...
Okay.
The thing you hate the most is what you do first.
Yes.
Do the hard things first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in high performance habits, that's a huge thing. And the thing with that one is, again, it done by one. Get the hard things done before 1 in the afternoon, and then your day just seems to free up. And as a single parent and a mom, the earlier I can get up, the earlier I can knock out the workout, the work, the self-care, the cleaning, the stuff that needs to be done. And my kids get home and I'm available. And so, but that also means you got to get that nighttime routine right, because you ain't going to get up if you don't get the nighttime routine. So I think some of the things I'm interested are, with everything you've been through and all these things, what are some habits you have in place or that you develop that help you really own this resilience that you have? Because you have this great resilient attitude, but surely it developed over time. And now you have some things you do every day that maybe might help another mom out.
Well, my morning starts at 3:30, sometimes 4.
Wow.
There's sometimes 3:30. My husband and I get up and we talk about everything and nothing. When I say people, they look at me crazy, but I say we talk about everything and nothing. And then I do my affirmations, where I write my affirmations each day, do my Bible reading, and then there are 2 things that I listen to religiously. They are non-negotiable on YouTube, which is The Death Crawl, it's a movie, and Arise Champion. Those are 2 things that I listen to every morning, non-negotiable. And I would do my affirmations I put on the wall, and I write them out. I have an app on my phone that's called Focus. It talks about exercise, meditation, that kind of stuff. Those are my non-negotiables every morning. Then I do my exercise, whether I go to the gym or I stay home and exercise off YouTube, or I go walking. I have to do my exercise first thing in the morning. Now that I'm an empty nester, it's a little bit easier. When I was a mom, I go early, do my stuff like you, Tiffany, and then I am present for whatever comes for the day. And
what time do you get to bed? What time do you get to bed if you wake up at 3:30?
Sometimes the only thing is I'm damaged because from police working shift, I never had a job in police section that I did not work shift. So if I get 4 hours, I'm good. So I'm averaging between, say, 11, sometimes 12. Because even though I have to still balance, although I have no children, I have to balance between my entrepreneurship and my husband.
Okay.
So I try and balance between that. And I read. Even if I'm listening to an audiobook, I try to get 10 to 15 minutes a day, listen to an audiobook, or I'm reading 10 to 15 pages a day. And I'm reading books like Relentless with Tim Grover, Winning, because it's not only about what he did for the athletes, it's about getting your mind right, focusing, being obsessed with what you want to get to.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's like you're talking about. It's what we feed our mind. And today it's really important that we have lots of tools at our disposal to our detriment or to our good. And what you're talking about is maximize, find that motivational talk that gets you going every day, or that music playlist. Or
absolutely.
That thing. But fill your mind with good things. We got enough negative things being thrown at us all the time. We have to counteract that somehow. We need to teach our kids to do that. Or they're going to get sucked up in this marketing campaign for everyone's attention. And it's kind of scary because they don't know what we know. I mean, I grew up before cell phones and computers and all of that, and it scares me how dependent we can be on those things if we let them. And so I think it's important that, okay, if we're going to have these tools, let's use them for the right thing, and let's be an example of using those for the right thing, and then fill our minds with good.
But I've given my children information overload, because I do have a WhatsApp group for the 3 of us, and I have to send them all these things from YouTube.
Great idea.
These books and stuff like that.
I do too. I when I want to tell everybody something, I talk in there. but I want to tell somebody off privately, I tell them.
Yeah.
They've said that to me as adults. They've said that to me, Mommy, you could just told me that on my own. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Some things need to be one-on-one. Yeah. So
yeah.
And then I just have to remind myself they're adults down to a point. So I have to change how I talk to them.
Yep.
Yes.
Because at first I was talking to them like they were still 5 and 10 year olds.
Yeah.
So I had to change how I talk to them now. But it's a learning process.
Yes. For sure.
Yeah. We're talking through you, so you're doing something right.
Yes, they are. Exactly.
We all want that. We all want them to want to spend time with us when we're older. There's this movement of like completely detaching from your parents that's going on. That's not really
what is that? And that's a downfall too of this generation. It's a downfall because, I always say that, if you have a good parent or if you're a good parent, the person that you can trust the most in this world should be your parent. So if you are away from that person, then you are, at risk for a lot of other foolishness, because the people that are talking to you, it could be your spouse, it could be your partner. The person that brought you into this world generally should be the person that you trust the most, because you should know that person does not want to see you come to harm in any way whatsoever, where in a relationship may go stale or you separate or whatever. So it's very unfortunate when that people, they actually have to make to create distance between them and the person that brought them here because they can't trust them. So it's two sides. It's not just, children that are away from the parents, but what's the reason? Are you the parent that you need to be? And I think right now, whoever's listening, even if you're at a point in your life where your children are not connected to you, I want you to start thinking about yourself, look yourself in the mirror and see if there's some areas that you could improve on. There's some areas that you might be able to let go of. It could be something that, you're trying to prove a point, or you need that child to get the point, but they're adult children. And I say this to my clients all the time. Do not alienate your adult children. They have to live their lives. The mistakes that we made, our parents didn't want us to make that either, but we were about our business. Like, you come out my business. And then when we learned, we're like, oh, you were so right. But how do you pull back? Like what you just said, Charmaine, how do you pull back then and say, okay, they're adults. Let me see how I can still navigate this relationship without needing to be in control of what they do in their lives, because they're going to make the decision whether or not you agree or not. And so to put yourself in a position of influence to your adult children is so much more effective, so I feel like my children and yours, it sounds like they trust us. So they're willing to sit down and talk with us and work out something with us, because they trust that, we're not just trying to get our way, but we're actually respecting them. But we actually have some good advice. We've done some good things. So they'll listen to us. And I love that. I think that's what every parent should be striving to do.
And the parents the parents I'm seeing with had very intentional communication. Like they realized at the point that shift or their intention of what they were saying, instead of just maybe doing what the previous generation did or focusing totally on what they wanted out of the situation. And I think too, they recognize they're individuals. Right. They are people that are developing into adults. They're not a possession or a trophy or something.
Right. Absolutely.
Recognize that this is an individual I'm developing and that they're going to be different than me, but keeping that line of communication open that, Catherine, you said you did, and Charmaine, like that cue of, okay, I need to shift this. Like, I think that's the key right there. The success in the relationship.
It's all about asking them what they want as well. For my daughter, it was easier for me to navigate my daughter, find what she wants me to be involved with from what she doesn't want me to be involved with. But my son was more testy. He had to see that at the end of the day, mom was the one who's always have your back. He had to prove that for himself. For my daughter, it was different. It was like, where do you want me to stop being mother and just stand on the guidelines and watch you? And then I did have, in the end, I did have a good help from my husband, because when he came, he took her as his daughter, and he was able to like hold me back, like, don't do that. I did the other day. She was going somewhere, it was raining, and it's raining, you can't go anywhere. And he's like, how old is she? So I had to remind myself how old she was and call her back to say, it is raining when you're going out. Just be careful.
Yeah. Yes.
That kind of thing. So he's my yardstick now that she's still in the house.
Yeah.
To remind me, like, she is almost.
Well, it's funny you said that. I have a little story about my husband. When we first started dating, it was before we got married. I was helping my son purchase furniture for his new place, and I had really helped him with the real estate, everything, get his place and everything. And so I was helping that, and I had gotten the refrigerator, and I got this and everything. And I was like, okay, and this matches, and this. And my husband was like, does he want that fridge though? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's a fridge. He'll get the fridge. And he's like, but maybe he doesn't want that. And my son he's the oldest one. He's quiet. He's more quiet than the others, and he doesn't want to hurt me. So he's very like, he's learned a little bit more to stand up and say no. Stop it. But at that time, he was kind of like, I really don't want that fridge, And I was like, you don't want the fridge? What do you mean you don't want the fridge? And it was funny because my husband was like, maybe he doesn't want that fridge. He's a big man, And it's the truth. And I was just kind of pushing along, like, I'm just getting him a fridge. He needs a fridge. And he then was able to say, no, I probably would have wanted one that had this and that. And I was like, I was so offended, by the way. But it was a learning moment for me, because it was like, I don't need to be offended because this man wants a different fridge. He's a grown man. He has his own home. So there are times when, as parents, we really do need to look at ourselves and see what we're doing. And it might not even be a big deal. We could be just as helpful. But they said the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I wanted that guy to get a fridge. It's his fridge. So sometimes, mamas, we can just back up a little bit and just flow with them, right? Like you said,
even with our girls, we have to realize that our girls can manage themselves.
Oh,
they can manage themselves.
Right.
When I went to England, I want to fix everything. My husband's like, we're going out. I was in my head cussing because this need to fix and that need to fix.
Yeah, it's fine.
I was so embarrassed when I came back. My daughter had everything fixed.
It was fixed as soon as you got out the way.
Yep.
Yeah. We have to take ourselves out the way.
Choosing our battles, picking our battles very wisely, because it's very easy for us to take it personally. But half the time it might be because we did take it personally instead of just getting out of the way.
Out of the way. And now since that time, and that's been probably maybe 7 years since that time, I have simplified my life so much more, because now when he comes to me with a problem, I'm like, you can figure it out. And it's just made my life easier, because before I was kind of like, it's my baby. It's like, he's a grown man. He's not your baby. Like, so now he's like, well, you can do it. And I'm like, no, you can do it too. So it's kind of helped, for us to really understand. And I think, and moms, we need to take some of those things that we have strapped on our back. We can take those things off. They're heavy. Get them off there. You don't necessarily have to carry them all. So
the only thing I would say, even though we said you can figure it out, I'm still thinking about it.
Yes.
We're still praying about it. Yeah.
Even with God, right? Even when we give it to him, we walk away and we're still thinking about it. So we didn't really give it to him, did we? Because we're like,
I've learned. I'm giving him everything.
Yeah.
No pressure, no high blood pressure, nothing. Nothing's gonna catch me because I'm worrying. That is how I start to focus now. Nothing's gonna catch me because I'm worrying.
Good.
You have everything, and I'm moving on. Life is so short that you have to enjoy that little time you have before your number plays. Because when your number plays, you can't say you're not going.
Well,
and I've probably really seen that as a police officer as well in your day-to-day work.
Trust me, I've seen it all. I have seen it all.
Yeah,
I was quite active, so yeah, I've seen it.
I drive by a graveyard on one of the places to drop off my son every week, and every time I go by that graveyard, I've just been thinking, wow, I'm about halfway through my life. What do I think about that? Have I been doing the things that I really wanted to do? Am I showing my kids? And then I also started thinking, do I have a burial plot? Where am I supposed to be? I mean, I get sidetracked, but it's that, am I living intentionally into my life? Am I being that example I want to be to my kids? Because I don't want my tombstone to be like, she tried, right? Like, I mean,
and that is so crazy, because there was a podcast I was listening to with Miles Monroe, a preaching with the eagle mentality. And he says the most talent, the place in the world the most talent is in the graveyard. The doctors and the lawyers, the entertainers. And you can't just say, I wish I could have tried and failed.
Yeah, it'd be better to try and try with the regret. Yeah. Absolutely.
And once you try it, it's never a failure. It's just an unexpected event. There's no mistakes. There's no failures.
It's action. Action's going to move you somewhere, but sitting there is not going to move you anywhere.
Exactly. So yes, ladies, that's just my little journey.
Oh, thanks for sharing. What a great conversation. I love all the wisdom we glean. I always learn something from you, Catherine, and from our guest, Charmaine. Thank you so much. Any last thoughts as we go out? And if someone wants to work with you as an entrepreneur, where can they find you, or if they want to continue the conversation?
I'm on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram with my name, Charmaine Dalhouse Morgan, or Shambi Travel. My number is public. It's 345-926-2772. That's 345-926-2772. If they want to reach out to me, whether it's talking about being an entrepreneur or just want to get some insights from me, I am going to speak to them.
Yeah. Seek mentors, seek wisdom. I'm glad we have a very different group and that all of our guests have different ages, different experience. We are here to help you find something to lift you up and to bring you into your motherhood resiliently.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. Continue to be inspired. We'll continue to inspire as much as we can, but to continue to be inspired by one another. We get strength from one another. These stories of resilience help us also. And it's just amazing to find women from all around the world to bring their stories right here. So if you're watching and you want to be a part of the Resilient Mother podcast, definitely reach out to us. Charmaine, if you got some friends, send them our way. We want to tell these stories. And I'm looking for your book too. I'm waiting for your book because you got a lot to say.
You got a book.
So, yes, I am. That is one of my projects.
Oh, I want to hear about that too. We'll have you come back on when you do the book. Okay. You can come back. Yeah, we've had guests come back.
Sure.
Let's get some people in here, but subscribe to the YouTube channel, share. We have a weekly newsletter that's out now that'll tell you what we're up to and what we're doing. And as we develop or have new offerings, that's where you're going to find out about them first. So that information is all down below. And you can always find any information about the podcast at Linktree/The Resilient Mother Podcast, or just Google The Resilient Mother Podcast. We've got lots of us out there. So share, like, subscribe, all the things, or come be a guest, subscribe. So we'd love to have you. All right. Thanks everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe so we can share this message. We are a worldwide podcast with guests all around the world, and we want to continue to grow this community. You can find us on socials. You could also be a guest. Look for that link below if you'd be interested in being a guest on the podcast. If you know a sponsor or would like to be a sponsor, please reach out to me or Catherine as well.
Sure. We want you all on this journey. We want to hear your stories. We want to share your stories. We want to gain strength from each other because together we're stronger. And to never forget the blessing of being a mother and what we're creating. We're creating the future every single day of our lives. So get on this train with us and let's do this thing, moms.
I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. And we'll see you around. Take care.